everyone, my name is Miranda, and today I am here to review the Trials of Apollo Book 2, The Dark Prophecy. And one of Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle, came out last year and was one of my favorite books of the year. I just thought it was so good and so funny and so, like, just OG Percy Jackson, you know? Like, it just had such good snark and humor and everything, and I just really loved it. So obviously I was super excited to read this book because this is continuing on with the series, and we were gonna get new characters that we had seen before, you know, like reappearances of them and everything. And I have to say, after reading it, I do think I was a bit disappointed just because it was not as great as The Hidden Oracle, in my opinion. Like, I just feel like The Hidden Oracle, like all the stuff we learned about the three emperors and how things that had happened both in Percy Jackson and in Heroes of Olympus was all connecting together. It made it seem just like, what? Like, it blew my mind that all this could be connecting in such a way, and it was all kind of preordained, like stuff that I had read back, oh my gosh, almost like 9 years ago now, was like coming to fruition in this book, and I thought that was really interesting. However, after reading The Dark Prophecy, I have to say the biggest takeaway I got from it, I think, was that, like, it just felt unnecessary, I guess. You know, like, at the end of this book, I feel like the stuff that I learned did not constitute enough of, like, the weight for the third book. And I feel like when you, especially when you read, like, the last few chapters, you realize that, like, kind of everything you just read and spent time reading and spent time getting invested with was just to get us to the next point in the series. And I feel like that, yeah, all the books are kind of like that to get us to the bigger picture, but I feel like previously in all the series, aside from maybe Heroes of Olympus, the books could stand on their own and the books had their own purpose, you know? Like, there was something that needed to be done, something that needed to be learned in each of the books, and I just didn't feel that with The Dark Prophecy. I felt like at the end, all we had gotten was to our next step, and I was like, okay, like, when you lay it all out, like, we could have potentially just skipped this book and just gone right to the next thing, because now we know, like, where we need to go, but we didn't really learn anything new in the overall picture. We just knew, like, where we need to go now, but we could have skipped, you know? So I feel like it was disappointing in that because I've never really had that issue. I mean, Son of Neptune, which is the second book in the Heroes of Olympus, not a huge fan of that book for about the same reason, you know? It just felt like it was taking away from the bigger picture. And I feel like I was just more disappointed with this one because of how much I loved Hidden Oracle. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, that was just, like, my biggest takeaway. I was like, none of this really felt necessary. So the book picks up basically right after Hidden Oracle ended. I mean, it's about 6 weeks later, but we're in the same spot. Leo, Calypso, right? Yeah, sure. And Apollo as Lester are all flying out to Indianapolis now to try and figure out more to do with these emperors and everything. And I will say it's a bit spoilery. It's just about characters who are and aren't in this book, so if you don't want to be spoiled, just skip ahead about, you know, a couple minutes. But spoilers. I was super disappointed that Will and Nico weren't in this, and there was also, like, no Percy and Annabeth, which I didn't mind as much because I have, like, a big feeling they're going to be in Magnus Chase 3, which comes out in October, so, like, I don't mind that. But I just really love Nico and Will, and I thought they were really cute, and I like seeing them in Hidden Oracle, and they were one of my favorite parts. So not having them, like, I mean, I like Leo and I like Calypso, but I didn't like them as much as Nico and Will. You know, like, Nico and Will are just, like, OG for me. So that was disappointing. I know I can't tell, like, if we're gonna get Jason and Piper and all them in the next book or book 4, but it was just sad to see, like, I get it, that, like, they're kind of splitting their time, like, oh, we're gonna go visit our friends here, then we're gonna visit our friends here, then we're gonna visit our friends here. Like, it all kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it was just disappointing that we didn't get to see Nico and Will, because I was really looking forward to it, you know? They were a big part of what I love so much about The Hidden Oracle, so that was disappointing. Overall, I think, too, I really had issues in that, like, Apollo is literally starting to learn his lesson as being immortal, in that he was kind of super unfair to a lot of demigods and other people and mortals and everything, and this book kind of adds in a lesson of maybe, like, you don't necessarily want immortality, so Apollo's kind of grappling with that of, like, is it good to live life forever but never really get attached to anything? Or is it good to just be in the moment, be present, and know that, like, you're not going to live forever, but you're going to have, your life is going to be meaningful? And that's really the big grasp here. And I feel like Apollo is making strides to becoming a better person, definitely, most definitely. Like, he's not there yet, but I'd say, like, 60%. And I think my issue is just some of the things we learn, other people's reactions to them, I did not like. I felt like they weren't giving Apollo enough credit for who he is now and just kind of judging him for certain things. And also, he still has a bit of memory loss, so when he wouldn't remember certain things and people would get mad at him for it, I was like, but you can't, like, get mad at him for this, even though, like, it just, I don't know, it felt annoying because I feel like maybe because I'm reading from Apollo's point of view, I get his thoughts and everything, and I get, like, what he's feeling. So then to see people react and, like, oh, you're thinking this way, but, like, he's totally not, was just annoying, and I feel like it was really discrediting, like, the progress he has made. So I think that was it. And I'm being super vague because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but if you read the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's a certain character and there's a certain thing that happens and everyone's like, how could you do this? And he's like, I don't know if I did this. And I'm like, back off, Apollo. So yeah, overall I think just I was a bit disappointed by this book. I mean, it's still a great book. I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars, but I think that now it has me more worried for the third book. Like, is something actually interesting going to happen? Because we know what's going to happen. We know pretty much, like, where they're going, who's going, but at the same time, I just don't know, is it gonna feel again like, oh, like this book was just about getting to the next book and getting to the end. We did get to meet another emperor. I had not heard of this emperor before. I had heard of Nero, but not this one, who I will not name, but he is interesting because I think he has a personal connection to Apollo, and I think that's good because it kind of represents for Apollo the line he walks as, like, what kind of person do I want to be, and he gets to see someone from his past maybe who hasn't made that change that Apollo has the chance to make now in being a better person. So I think it's really, really interesting. We do, even though we don't get Nico and Will, we do get some reoccurring characters that I think you'll love. I mean, Leo, like I said, my man Leo, I love him. We get to meet some new demigods that are really cool, some new characters that are really cool. I think the biggest thing for me is that it wasn't so much a problem in the Hidden Oracle, but in this book, because, like, now I'm seeing the difference between, like, what happened in the Hidden Oracle, what characters we got, and who translated to here, is that, like, I enjoyed the characters, but I think it was the new characters, especially, like, Leo and Calypso, I was like, you know what, I've had books of you before, like, if I don't see you in the next book, I'm okay. But I think it's like when we meet new characters and they're interesting and they're funny and they're talking about how cool and interesting and, like, different they are, it's cool, but then you're like, okay, but, like, we're probably not going to see you again for, like, 2 more books, because that's what happened with everyone cool that we met in book 1 pretty much. I think there's a lot of ideas and plot holes in the air right now that are juggling, and you can't obviously put them all in. You can't put all the characters in without making it like an 800-page book. So I understand that, but at the same time, I'm disappointed. So I'm still looking forward to the third book. They're going into a certain place that is going to be very reminiscent of a previous book, so I'm excited for that. And I just think overall, yeah, it was just not my favorite, and it has me a bit more, like, you know, like cautious about book 3, but I'm still really excited. So if you've read the book or are planning on reading The Dark Prophecy, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel down below to be told to make all sorts of new videos. I have a review from last year on the Hidden Oracle, which I will leave a link to in the description box down below. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Like I said, this book, I mean, I don't know, it's just, I don't know. It's cool, but I feel like I wanted so much more. So that, I think, is the biggest issue. And yeah, leave your thoughts about it down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!